What's up, everybody? THiNK International, bringing you the best and brightest leaders of our generation. I'm here with Banning Liebscher of Jesus Culture and Bethel Church. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I'm honored to be in the best and brightest category. That's fantastic.
That's right, that's right. There's like major controversy. I mean, they're doing huge conferences and debates over this fact, and so I was wondering if you could just address it. What does your name actually mean?
Okay, first of all, that's a tough first question, but Banning, my first name is Irish. It's Irish. It means small, fair one. And Liebscher, which I thought meant lover for years, is German. Somebody told me it meant love handles the other day.
No way.
Yeah, so my name, which I thought for years, I grew up in Christian school, you know, all my Christian school peeps out there. I thought my name Banning meant strong warrior, great protector, lover, and then found out a few years into marriage it meant small, fair one, love handles. So, which the love handles part, the older I get, it's starting to be a little more accurate, but yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, well, names are generally prophetic in nature, so you'll shrink. And
I'm fighting that one for sure, but yeah.
How long has Jesus Culture really been going on? I mean, in recent years, it's blown up. You know, a lot of people know about it in the church world, and you know, even outside of the church world. But it's not just 4 years old. It's really years old.
Yeah, you know, I mean, originally Jesus Culture was a conference that I was youth pastor in here at Bethel, and we just had a heart to serve the larger body of Christ, and so we put on a conference in 1999. We called it Jesus Culture. I was literally walking through the mall and saw a, I don't know if you remember the Counterculture brand.
Yeah.
I thought that's kind of cool. We were trying to think of a name for the conference. I thought that's kind of cool, but I don't really want, like, we want that kind of counterculture generation to be raised. But I'm like, I really want a Jesus culture is what I'm looking for. Yeah. And so we just named the first conference that. Right. And then that went on, and we did 2 conferences a year for a while. And then, and then in 2005 is when really we began to say, let's Kim and Chris, let's record a CD and let's take our conferences out. That's when it started kind of becoming a little bit more of a movement, more than just a local church conference. But we've been doing the local church conference since '99. We've been doing this thing for, over 10 years now.
No, being in Redding, I mean, it's amazing what's happening with Bethel and everything. It's not like a major metropolis. It's not even really close to one. What was like the spark? Because I know there's other youth pastors out there, other pastors out there that are in cities that really, to them, they probably don't think mean much. What made you think it doesn't matter where we're from, we're just going for it?
Yeah, wow, that's a great question. You know, it's just like, the Lord puts dreams in your heart, and figure, well, he put this dream in my heart. He can build from here just like he can build from anywhere else, you know. So I think for me, I didn't even think about it, to be honest with you. We just said, let's go after the things the Lord's put in our heart, you know. And I think that this may be a little bit off the subject, but somebody, one of our guys was asking one day, one of our senior associate guys was really praying, our senior pastor, Bill Johnson, one of our senior associates was just praying like, Lord, why'd you choose Redding? Right. And the Lord said, he said, I didn't choose Redding, I chose Bill. Oh, wow. And so sometimes I think, like, it doesn't matter what city, man. The Lord chooses, the Lord chooses people. Whether you're in Redding, whether you're in LA, whether you're in Marysville, whatever, the Lord says, I'm going to do something with you. And people are crazy enough to go, all right, let's what do you want me to do? And I don't think it matters to the Lord what city it's in or whatnot. I mean, John the Baptist was out in the middle of the wilderness, so people came to him.
You know, your Jesus Culture conferences are really incredible. They're done well. I mean, we're looking at some of it back there. Your speakers that you choose, like, there's youth conferences everywhere, and there's like the big youth conference speakers that are sought after and stuff. But you're picking people that aren't necessarily the big youth conference speakers. Why? Why is that?
Because the Lord told us early on. He said that there's a new breed of revivalist emerged in the earth, and that we're to mobilize, train, equip, raise these guys up for nations. But he told us to be marked by 4 things. One of the first ones was that they would be under spirit. They would be connected to spiritual fathers and mothers. The generation would be connected. So the Lord just told us, hey, build on fathers and mothers. And so almost everybody. I mean, obviously we do have some speakers would be more known for their youth speaker, but for the most part, we just started bringing in fathers and mothers. Some of them weren't even that gifted in speaking to young people, but we brought them in, and kids were just their lives were changed. I mean, they were going home completely transformed, completely different. So we have a real heart to connect the generations and to bring fathers and mothers in. I mean, honestly, we're going to do our first arena gathering. So we're going to go in Chicago next year, and the Lord told me, bring in the fathers and mothers. So I mean, we're bringing in like Reinhard Bonnke, Cindy Jacobs, Lou Engle, Bill Johnson, Sean Smith. we are literally bringing in like fathers and mothers that we've been connected to, just say, hey, will you come impart to a generation?
Yeah.
And, you know, you go across the line, you go through our list, Paul Goulet, a lot of these guys are just because I'm like, dude, you're a father and a mother. Will you come? Cindy, in fact, Cindy Jacobs, she wasn't speaking to young people except for maybe the call. And I sucked her in. I said, dude, you're a mom. You're a mother of these young revivalists. Come impart to them, will you please? Wow. And now she does. And it seems to work. So
in youth movements right now, and there's a few kind of around the world, Jesus Culture, Hillsong United, there seems to be a lot of powerful worship music coming out of that. Do you have an opinion as to why? Or?
Oh, yeah, I think obviously worship's such a massive part of the kingdom and what's on the heart of Jesus. But I think a couple reasons. One is it ignites something inside of youth and young adults. And I think ultimately it's getting them to turn their attention on this whole thing's about Jesus. It's about exalting the name of Jesus in the earth. It's about lifting up his name. It's about glorifying him. And I think that it's about the presence of God. Yeah. And the Lord seems to like to show up, man. So really putting a focus on that. I think that people are really wanting to see Jesus exalted in the nations. Mm-hmm. And one of the main ways is just through their worship. Right. And through actually just being in his presence. Like, we're trying to get kids to encounter God. Yeah. That's our goal. We even have a little encounter equip send. Trying to get them to encounter God. We're trying to equip them. We're trying to send them. But that encounter part, you know, it happens during the sermon, obviously. It happens during ministry. But one of the main ways it happens is just from a whole bunch of hungry people just coming and saying, Lord, I just want to give you the glory that's due your name. And they're just encountering God in the midst of that. So.
You like to study past revivalists. Some people like to study leadership books, and John Maxwell and other people are you know, more kind of just focused on prophetic and all these different things. But you really hit past revivalists. Do you do that for inspiration or for heritage, for both?
You know, for me, I think that I just love history. I love learning where guys have been and what they've learned. I feel like we can learn a ton from looking at the life of somebody, what the Lord taught them, their weaknesses, their strengths. And mainly for me, it's about connecting again to I feel like the church doesn't know about inheritance. And so I feel like we kind of very quickly forget about some of these past guys, and we forget about our inheritance, that these are the grandparents, the great-grandparents, and that what they got's mine. Like the revelation the Lord gave them, I can receive, you know. And I think we've had such an independent kind of like, well, I got to go get my own revelation. I got to go and climb my own mountain. And for me, I've just said again and again, like, this is the example I'll use, like when I was youth pastor and kids might be drinking. And parents would be like, well, I drank and I turned out okay. And I'm like, dude, I don't want my kids to learn the same mistakes I learned. Sure. To learn the exact same thing I learned to get to the same place I got to. Right. So I just figure, like, you know, if we can look at both current fathers and mothers and past fathers and mothers, past men and women of God and current men, and really learn from their lives and learn, like, all right, this is where they went right, this is where it was a little off, this is the revelation the Lord gave them. I can actually, through inheritance, receive what the Lord gave them so I can go further. Right. I don't, you know, I feel like we constantly keep inventing the wheel. Mm-hmm. Honestly, this may seem weird, but John G. Lake, early 1900s is around. Well, there's all this teaching on healing and revelation coming, all that type of stuff. He had it all back then. You read his stuff now, and you're like, wow, I thought that was like all new stuff. It's not new stuff.
We rewrite the book.
Yeah, I mean, there's new revelation that comes out. I'm like, I want to be able to really glean from these men and women of God and really learn what the Lord taught them, so that I can go further with that revelation, so I can steward what the Lord gave, so I can steward what the Lord gave them and take new territory. Right. I don't want to take the territory John G. Lake took. He already took it. I want to be able to be in that territory and take more territory.
And you guys are taking territory like crazy here. What's it like to work in the midst of, you know, a move of God?
Yeah, actual work. Yeah, it's interesting. It's something we've had to learn. I mean, but what's been happening at Bethel now, it's been happening for 15 years. So, you know, the early stages, it was a lot of meetings. It was a lot of not work. There wasn't a lot of structure, organizational around it. But pretty soon we begin to learn to, hey, let's build some structure. But I think for us, like, we have a real, we would say the work part, we understand that we're having to create a wineskin, or we're building a house. But what's more important than the wineskin, what's more important than the house, is the wine in the wineskin and the one who lives in that house. Right. So you know, we work hard, we have long hours, but we love what we're doing. But more than anything, we want to host his presence. More than anything, we want everything we're doing to be coming out of the presence of God, to come out of that place. And so we try to really keep that at the forefront and try not to burn out as well. I think that a lot of people, studying some of the past revivalists, these guys burn out, man. They weren't able to sustain the level. I mean, I was just reading about Whitfield, I think. I don't know if I have all his ages right, but he was like in his late 40s, and they literally, he was so burnt out from all the stuff that's going on. He would lay in bed. They'd pick him up, they'd put him in the pulpit, anoint with him, he'd preach, and then they'd lay him back down in bed. That was it. Some of these guys, they died so early, and we know, like, hey, we need to be able to work. We're in his presence. We're working from his presence. We're working with him. But we also don't want to burn out. So we know how to have fun. You know, we know how to laugh. We know how to go on vacation. We know how to have hobbies, you know. Yeah. I just played slow pitch softball last night, you know.
Is it true that in your staff meetings, sometimes Bill Johnson and Chris Valentine just get into epic yo mama battles?
Yeah, and almost always Bill wins, almost always. Okay. Chris will think he's got it, and then Bill, you know. Yeah, dude, Bill can throw the smackdown sometimes, you know.
There it is. Never yo mama with Bill.
Never.
Never. How do you keep a creative environment? I mean, this is Jesus Culture is a real creative ministry. How do you establish that as kind of the leader, a real creative environment?
Hire creative people who are good at what they do. You know, I mean, we just try to have fun, you know. We try to, we love it, man. I can probably say that everybody loves showing up to work every day, man. Yeah. And they love to create. And ultimately, I mean, it's creativity with vision. I mean, that's part of it. Like, we want to see entire nations given to Jesus. Yeah. We want to see an entire generation ignited on passion for him. Yeah. So, I mean, man, when that's your goal, when you're going after that thing, man, it's easy to just to dream and be creative. And we have a high value for that being ministry, too. Like, we're looking at those creative guys going, dude, what you're doing for the kingdom is just changing lives. And I may stand up and preach from a pulpit, but what you're doing, it's rocking people, man. Keep it up. So we have a high value for it and feel like we have the best cause on the planet. And then we just get a lot of, you know, we find good creative people who love what they're doing.
Any last kind of comments for, you know, youth pastors, senior leaders, just people in general out there that you just speak to leadership for a second?
Yeah, I'd say learn to love the cave, learn to love the secret place, and establish a secret history with the Lord. Almost always when you read about men and women of God, or even current people that you see that are doing stuff, it just wasn't created in public. That, you know, and it's never, man, they came out of nowhere. Nobody ever comes out of nowhere.
Right.
Ever. Even the Browns of Revival, different ones. I mean, Kilpatrick didn't come out of nowhere. I mean, he was on his face for years before the Lord, saying, God, give us revival. And so for me, I'm like, with young leaders, with young people, with leaders, for me, it's like learn to love the cave. Learn to love the secret place. Yeah. Create a secret history with the Lord, and don't be in a hurry to get out of that. We're so in a hurry to make something, or to, you know, to establish ourselves, or to accomplish. And I'm like, dude, learn to love the cave. Serve the whole time. Yeah. Like, serve the whole time. Yeah. But learn to love the cave and be okay when the Lord's not. When the Lord hasn't taken you out of the cave. Be okay when it's just you and him in the secret place. Be all right with that. That's good. And stop being in such a hurry. But that'd be my advice.
That's great. One last thing, your book's now in Chinese. Like, is there like the secret signed copy that you're going to give out to like the first 20 people that buy it?
It is in Chinese.
Limited edition.
It is in Cantonese, and it is limited edition. And I've only seen it. I only have one copy. I don't even know where it's at. Somebody sent me a copy of my book in Chinese, and I'm like, this is awesome. Yeah. I don't know if they have any more. Somebody may have just done it just for me. Here's a copy in Chinese. I guess it's in China, Taiwan, somewhere. I guess I don't know. That's great. So I would release 20 signed copies if I had 20 signed copies.
There it is. Be the first to get them. Hey, thank you so much, Banning. Appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, man. Hey, listen. Let me say, honestly, love what you're doing. Thank you. So encouraged by what the Lord's put in your heart and by what you're doing in just media and encouraging the church and strengthening them. So keep it up, man. Really, honestly.
Thank you so much. Jesus Culture, Think International. Peace.